An incident that the international public never anticipated occurred right after the birthday celebration of Jungkook, the BTS magnate who had just stepped into the age of 28. Kim Taehyung, a figure who has long been associated with both personal and professional relations with Jungkook, suddenly sent a private message that then leaked to the attention of fans. The message at first seemed simple, a warm birthday greeting. However, what made ARMY fall silent instantly was the continuation of the message, which was so mysterious and caused deep sadness. A question immediately echoed. What exactly did Taehyung want to convey to Jungkook, and why did its impact instead make fans cry? This moment began with Taehyung's public upload on social media. He posted an old video of himself with Jungkook, showing warm interactions, genuine laughter, and closeness that has long been the focus of ARMY worldwide. The video instantly went viral and generated positive comments. Thousands of fans wrote how envious they were of the bond between the two that looked so sincere, calling it the irreplaceable dream friendship. But behind that euphoria, it turned out there was a far deeper detail, something unseen on the surface, and instead raising a big question. According to various fan sources who claim to know more, Taehyung did not stop only at the public upload. Through a private channel rarely exposed to the public sphere, he was said to have sent a personal message directly to Jungkook. That message became the center of discussion because its content was not merely a birthday greeting, but also something containing a deeper meaning, even emotional in nuance. Speculation then developed. Was it a prayer, a motivation, or rather a hidden confession that had never been spoken openly? Jungkook's reaction after receiving the message only added to the tension. ARMY noted that in several uploads and in his behavior after that moment, he seemed more quiet, his facial expressions different, and several times showing gestures considered as signs of sadness. This was what then made fans feel shaken. How could a birthday message from a friend as well as a group mate bring about such emotion? What exactly was in that message that could change the atmosphere of the celebration into one full of questions? Some ARMY believed that the message was an honest expression that all this time could not be conveyed openly because of situational limitations. They suspected that Taehyung conveyed something personal, sensitive, and perhaps related to their relationship behind the scenes of a very strict entertainment industry. Some also suspected that the message contained an apology or regret over something that had happened in the past. This suspicion grew stronger because after that moment, Jungkook was seen avoiding discussing details about his birthday, as if there was something deliberately being hidden. The questions grew larger when several international fan accounts began connecting this moment with various previous events, including the noticeably reduced interactions of Taehyung and Jungkook in public in recent years. Was the message a form of personal clarification from Taehyung to Jungkook? Or was it rather a farewell message implying that there was something big they could no longer maintain together? There was no definite answer, but the uncertainty itself made ARMY even more emotional. Disappointment, sadness, and shock blended in the fans' reactions. On Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube, thousands of analysis videos began to appear. Some highlighted Jungkook's expression when reading his phone in a short live, said to have occurred right after Taehyung's message came in. Others noticed the way Jungkook lowered his head longer than usual, which some ARMY interpreted as a sign he was holding back emotion. This phenomenon created a huge wave of discussion that touched not only on personal issues, but also on how the pressure of the entertainment industry could affect inter-member relationships. Behind all that, a critical question emerged that was difficult to avoid. Was this moment merely a series of coincidences amplified by the public, or was there really something Taehyung deliberately conveyed through that private message? If indeed there was something hidden, what was the reason it could not be revealed openly? And more importantly, why did Jungkook's reaction instead create an impression of deep sadness, not the joy that usually colors his birthday? It cannot be denied. The interactions of Taehyung and Jungkook have always been a main focus in every BTS event. Their relationship, both as friends and colleagues, has shaped an irreplaceable dynamic in the group. But precisely because of that closeness, every small detail will always be analyzed, even to the point of generating extreme speculation. This time ARMY was truly left confused. Should they be happy seeing the warmth in the uploaded video, or be sad realizing there was a hidden message that made Jungkook look pressured? The the power of this issue lies in its mystery. There is no concrete evidence about the contents of Taehyung's message other than the growing speculation. Yet that lack of clarity instead triggered an even greater wave of emotion. ARMY felt that a birthday moment that should be full of joy instead turned into a space of questions, as if there was an emotional distance that could not be explained in words. Was the message a final greeting before something big happened? Or was it only a form of attention so deep that it made Jungkook drown in feeling? What is certain is that fan reactions are now divided. Some still believe that their relationship is fine, and the message was only a natural form of attention. But there are also those who believe that the message contained a warning signal, a clue about something long hidden from the public. Whatever the truth, one thing is clear. This moment succeeded in changing the way ARMY viewed the relationship between Taehyung and Jungkook. From just a birthday celebration, it has now become a global discussion center full of emotion. It is no exaggeration to say that this moment is one of the most shocking throughout BTS's career journey. Taehyung, with one private message never fully published, managed to shake the emotions of millions. Jungkook, with his reaction full of question marks, added a layer of mystery that made everything harder to understand. And ARMY, with their varied interpretations, are now trapped in mixed feelings of happiness, sadness, and confusion. In the end, the most important question remains hanging. Was the message truly a prayer full of affection, or rather a statement signaling an unseen distance between them? If drawn deeper, the core of the matter of this event is not merely a birthday greeting, but the meaning contained behind Taehyung's private message to Jungkook. Because at this point the public is wondering, why did a message that should bring joy instead leave a gloomy impression? That question is not without reason. The observant ARMY noticed changes in Jungkook's expression and attitude after the moment, leading to suspicions that the message touched on something very personal, even perhaps painful. One possibility now much discussed is that the message contained words of farewell or an assertion of emotional distance between them. Many fans suspected Taehyung conveyed a bitter truth, whether related to internal group conditions, professional pressures, or long-buried personal conflicts. If true, then it is natural that Jungkook showed sadness, because he received a reality hard to accept on what should be the happiest day of the year. The second possibility, equally disturbing, is the suspicion that the message was reflective, as if a contemplation from Taehyung about their long journey. Words like "stay strong," "don't give up," or "take care of yourself" may seem simple, but in the context of a pressure-filled entertainment industry, those phrases could be interpreted as signals of something more serious. ARMY interpreted that perhaps Taehyung wanted to convey a warning or final prayer before entering a heavier phase. If true, it would raise major concern about what Jungkook will face in the near future. The third possibility is even more emotional, that the message implied feelings of guilt or regret from Taehyung. Some fans suspected there were certain past moments that distanced them, and the message was Taehyung's way of apologizing. But if true, why did Jungkook's reaction instead appear even more pressured? Was it because the message reminded him of old wounds not yet healed, or because Jungkook was not ready to respond under the public spotlight? Besides that, not a few also considered that the message may have touched on sensitive issues that could not be revealed openly, whether for personal reasons or because of industry constraints. The relationships among BTS members often become subjects of speculation, and Taehyung's message this time was considered a small clue that deliberately or not left a trace for ARMY. Could it be that the message was a form of communication deliberately disguised so that only Jungkook truly understood its meaning? However, the most surprising interpretation was the one suggesting that the message contained hidden hopes, a kind of promise that could not be disclosed to the public. If true, then it is natural that Jungkook appeared sad, because he had to bear a huge secret alone, while still smiling in front of millions of fans. This was what made ARMY even more confused. Should they see this moment as a sign of deep affection, or as a danger signal threatening their closeness? The fact that the message was never fully published made speculation develop uncontrollably. Every analysis, every fragment of expression, every vague word from the two has now become the subject of intensive study among ARMY. And the longer the uncertainty is left unresolved, the greater the emotional pressure fans feel. In the end, the core of this matter is not only about a birthday greeting, but about how a relationship so strong can raise huge questions just because of one private message full of mystery. If we examine deeper, the critical point of this phenomenon is not only in Taehyung's message sent to Jungkook, but in how the message was interpreted en masse by ARMY and the global public. Because this event proved one fundamental thing. In the digital era, one small signal can turn into a massive current of opinion. But the important question that must be asked is, do all the speculations truly have a strong basis? Or are they merely the result of a collective imagination of fans hungry for dramatic narratives? Should we not be careful not to be trapped in sensationalism that instead distances us from the actual facts? We know that the circulating information about Taehyung's private message came from various unofficial channels, from TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, to global discussion forums. These platforms indeed can accelerate the distribution of information, but at the same time hold great risk in creating bias, manipulation, even hoaxes. Thus, reflective questions must be raised. Is it appropriate to fully trust information sourced from short video clips, unverified screenshots, or emotional interpretations of certain individuals? Are we not being trapped by narratives deliberately constructed to create controversy? The public must realize that phenomena like this often become fertile ground for certain parties seeking benefit from the commotion. The question is, was this mysterious message truly sent by Taehyung or merely produced by a third party wanting to disrupt Jungkook's birthday atmosphere? Is it possible that all this was only a fabrication to divert attention from a bigger issue, whether related to the entertainment industry or BTS's internal dynamics? If so, are we not becoming victims of an opinion game designed very subtly when ARMY cried, swept by emotion and linked Jungkook's expressions to the mysterious message? Should we also not ask, was that expression truly a reaction to the message, or was it merely a one-sided interpretation without factual basis? What if Jungkook's expression when lowering his head was only coincidental, then pulled into a bigger context by fans? Are we not facing great danger if we continue forcing interpretations without foundation? This phenomenon demands us to be skeptical. The information we consume does not always reflect reality, but often only small fragments of a larger narrative, or could even be false. Therefore, the public must dare to ask uncomfortable questions. Did Taehyung really write a farewell message? Did Jungkook truly cry because of it? Or perhaps, all this was merely coincidence deliberately steered into drama by social media prioritizing sensation over truth. It must be noted, every time a major issue like this emerges, the same pattern always occurs. Small fragments of information are magnified, then emotionally interpreted, then repeated until the public believes it is reality. The question is, are we facing objective facts or merely an illusion formed by social media algorithms? Is it not very possible that we are all being steered to believe in something that actually never happened? It cannot be denied that many ARMY felt broken, sad, and lost after hearing about the message. But amidst such strong currents of emotion, is it not more important to maintain clarity of thought? If not, we will only be passive consumers of information not necessarily true, even potentially victims of media manipulation. Here, critical reflection becomes very important. Do we truly understand what is happening, or are we only part of a crowd being driven to believe in a prepackaged narrative? These questions are indeed painful, but must be asked. If we do not dare to question, then we will remain trapped in cycles of hoaxes and sensationalism. Are we willing that ARMY's emotions be played with for the interests of those seeking instant popularity? Are we aware that every fan's tear might be exploited to create profit for people who do not care about truth? Therefore, readers need to be invited not only to be carried away in emotional drama, but also to reflect deeply. Did Taehyung's message to Jungkook truly exist, or was it merely a collective illusion deliberately planted? Did Jungkook's reaction truly indicate deep sadness, or was it merely an overinterpretation? And further, are we not being forced to believe a story deliberately constructed for the interests of media and certain parties? The truth of all this is still far from certainty. What is clear is that this issue shows how fragile the boundary between fact and interpretation is in the digital era. One mysterious message can shake millions, but ironically, there is not a single piece of concrete evidence that can verify its truth. The question now is, will we continue letting ourselves be trapped in a drama that may not be real, or will we dare to go against the current by questioning every unconfirmed detail?